What's going on, and welcome into the PlayStation 5 announcement. We don't know if it's a Pro. We don't know if this is a tech presentation. We know it's a Pro. It's a Pro, everyone. It's okay. We're happy to have you here. I'm your host for this morning, Nikki Two Shoes, Nikki Ops, and alongside me, we have an amazing chat kicking it with me during this 9-minute, extremely technical presentation. I would love to hear from the chat if you guys are excited for this thing, because personally, I'm like 3 to 5 out of 10 excited. I just want them to try to tell me why this is gonna be worth it. As somebody that loves my PlayStation 5, why do I need to upgrade to this bad boy? Why do I need to get on this before a next gen refresh in 4 or 5 years? Yeah, a new PSP would be wild. What if we get a handheld today? It's possible. Also, what if they show off a new game like Bloodborne Remastered? That's not possible. Literal Sin, thank you so much for the follow. Ragnar, thank you so much for the resub, and let's go. Let's hop into it.
Hi, I'm Mark Cerny. I'm excited to be here to talk about the newest addition to our console lineup, PlayStation 5 Pro.
Hey!
And how it advances gaming technology.
Oh,
First, I want to take just a minute to look at what we put in the original PlayStation 5 and how it delivers an exceptional gaming experience.
Okay, what? Why are we looking into what?
When PS5 debuted in
Did PS5?
it brought a lot to the table. 8 Zen 2 CPU cores form the brains of PlayStation 5 and enable high-speed complex gameplay, with character counts reaching into the hundreds and frame rates that can be as high as 120 frames a second.
We gotta see Spider-Man and
PS5 has a powerful
we need to see Spider-Man,
anything from intricate
Horizon,
details to fantastic worlds with vast panoramas to explore.
and
Ray tracing
Ratchet and
allows
Clank.
for dramatic visual improvements.
Those are my
including
calls of games that we see
reflections
during
off
this
of
tech.
water or glass, and the realism that comes from real-time global illumination. A custom SSD can load data at breathtaking speed, resulting in
There's
ultra-fast
Ratchet.
transitions between game worlds
Watch that demo hundreds of times.
and data streaming
And there's
rates so
Spider-Man.
high that traversal speeds are essentially unlimited.
You okay? I'm working on it.
Tempest 3D audio tech brings an unparalleled sense of immersion to the sound of the games. With audio so real, you may not even need to see the enemies to know exactly where they are. Finally, the DualSense controller has haptics that let you feel through your hands what your character is experiencing inside of the game.
God, I gotta play Control, everyone.
It's wonderful to see such variety and richness of game experiences. Creators have made amazing use of the hardware capabilities, but when I talk to them, I do hear about their desire for more graphics performance. The dreams of the developers are bigger than can be supported at 60 frames per second, and that leads to an aspect of modern gaming that we're all familiar with: graphics modes. It can be a difficult choice for players.
Yep, remove it.
Fidelity modes emphasize the visuals, typically through higher
Let's
resolution
just get
rendering.
60 frames.
These modes
graphics
might also
mode,
have
baby.
enhanced detail or use more ray tracing. But the games only run at 30 frames per second. The visuals can be choppier and the controls less responsive. Performance modes emphasize frame rate and interactivity, typically choosing to run at 60 frames per second, mainly by reducing the graphical detail until those frame rates can be achieved. When asked to decide on a mode, players are choosing performance about 3/4 of the time. Removing that decision, or at least narrowing that divide, is one of the key targets for PlayStation 5.
There we go.
We
Remove
want
the
to give
decision.
players the graphics that the game creators aspire to, at the high frame rates that players typically prefer.
I don't think we're going
do
to
that,
get a controller
PS5 Pro
refresh today.
substantially improves over PlayStation 5 in 3 ways. Here's what we call the big 3.
It's the AI
First,
upscaling.
we made the
that
GPU
is
much
interesting.
larger and increased the speed of the memory it uses. The result is rendering that's up to 45% faster.
GPU.
Second, we made major upgrades to the ray tracing, taking a streamlined and accelerated approach that allows calculation of the rays at double or even triple the speeds of PlayStation 5. And finally, we added custom hardware for machine learning and an AI library called PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, or PSSR for short. PSSR analyzes the game images pixel by pixel and can add an extraordinary amount of detail, which boosts the effective resolution of the games. Game creators are adding PS5 Pro support to new and existing titles, and with the big three involved, the results can be pretty amazing, with graphics showing something like fidelity levels of detail, but at double the frame rate. Here's The Last of Us Part 2 running on PS5 Pro. It has huge amounts of detail and targets a super smooth 60 frames per second.
Okay. This is one of those that you're gonna need to go
Let's
back in
compare
4K.
this to the fidelity mode on PS5, which is only running at 30 frames per second and is therefore much choppier. This goal of delivering almost fidelity-like graphics at performance frame rates has been achieved for a broad set of titles, including Marvel's Spider-Man 2 and Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart.
Jeez. I don't know why you put me on a worse performance there.
We can see that
There we
PS5 Pro
go.
is close to doubling the power of PlayStation 5.
It's like that looks way too choppy to
Another
be
way to compare
correct.
the two consoles is to look at PS5 Pro versus performance mode on PS5, both of which target 60 frames per second. What we see here is
Literally.
a difference in detail. PS5 Pro is much sharper and crisper than PS5. For this, my favorite is the parade scene from Ratchet & Clank. Distant details are much clearer. And here we can see Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is noticeably higher resolution throughout the scene, including the trees and procedural cars.
That's
So
interesting.
overall, some remarkable improvement to the games. On PS5 Pro, we can see increased sharpness to the graphics or smoother and more responsive
Did I
gameplay.
not say Spider-Man? I
This
thought
is the
that The
big
Last of
three
Us would be
showing their
Horizon showing off.
As you've been
but
seeing, machine
Call
learning
two of the
via
three.
the PSSR library is being used quite broadly to add pixel detail and boost frame rate. But there are as many approaches as there are game engines.
This
The
is
increase in
just
raw
a
GPU
technical
power is being
presentation. We
especially
might see the
effective
box.
for
I don't think we're gonna get
Horizon
pre-orders
Forbidden
today.
West.
Hey!
Apart from the detail boost,
I'm
that
so
extra
smart.
graphics power is allowing
Damn,
for improvements
that's
to
funny.
lighting and visual effects,
Best looking game I've ever seen, except for
as well as to the hair
Hellblade.
and the skin in cinematics.
Open up, guys. Jorv's orders.
Good enough for me.
Maxers, I probably will
Ray
just due to
tracing is
the
finding broad usage
due to the
as well,
job.
particularly when the games are focused on higher frame
If I
rates. The faster
honestly,
hardware
I
in
can
PS5
say this. I probably
Pro
wouldn't buy
can
one
make
with my
a
own
real
money.
difference.
I either
Allowing
PlayStation
Gran
send us
Turismo
one,
7
or
to add ray
we'll
trace
use it for
reflections between the cars
company
and
money to
gameplay,
pick one up, just so we
while
can have
continuing
one
to
between
support
the
their
three of us.
targeted 60 frames per second. That boost in ray tracing is also delivering big wins for Hogwarts Legacy, allowing not only for
look at
better
that floor.
reflections and a greater variety of reflective surfaces, but also for further realism in the casting of shadows. I hope you've enjoyed this run-through of the technology behind PlayStation 5 Pro.
We got to see the box.
Simply put, it's the most powerful console we've ever built, and a worthy addition to the PS5 family. Let me wrap this up by giving you a quick look at a number of games running on the new console.
Show us the box. Oh, here we go. Oh, dude. Yeah, it's there's the lines. Oh man. They know how to go and turn me up, Chad. No disk drive. I didn't see a disk drive. Spider-Man. Fuck! Yeah! Give me, honestly, fucking sell it. Run it. I want it. Get me one. Get me one.
Be worth it.
Okay.
You're gonna show me Zach with that resolution and not expect me to get turned up?
Did I do it? Oh, what is this? What's with all the neon?
Just for Rebirth. It's gonna cost me $800 just to play a game I've already played, and it's gonna be so worth it. We're gonna need this for GTA 6. I think that it's gonna be a good sell. Hey, the best place to play GTA 6 is on the PS5 Pro. That is the sell, in my opinion. Why do you need one of these? The best place to play GTA 6 is on PS5 Pro. I was gonna say, Alan Wake 2 is another game I thought they could have shown off a lot more of. 700 bones. 700 bones. We got a price. Holy shit. Okay, let's just toss this on in the background. $700. Holy shit. I mean, Connor said it many times. This is a boutique. This is a small market item. This is not the everyman's console. I think that 700 is pretty insane, but this thing is trying to be that in between bridge, in my opinion, between a PC and a console. Where, hey, I'm the person that's like, I don't want to play on my PC. I don't. I want to sit on my couch. I want to relax and hang out. I don't want to play on my PC. So I'll swipe the card and take a PS5 Pro and enjoy that. And with all the upscaling, the fact that there's a chance that you might not have to go and decide between graphics mode and performance mode, that's huge in my opinion. Because like Final Fantasy 16, I want that thing in 60 looking as good as it fucking does. There's just so many things that I want out of my PS5 that I currently don't get, and that is the number one. That is literally it. Too expensive though, even though I do want a graphic update. That's the thing. It's way too expensive, but this isn't for a lot of people. $700 without disk drive. I think it would be $750 if there was a disk drive. We got to remember that disk drives cost money to put in a console. Also, I think that a big part of this Pro is they want the design to be a little bit sleeker. They don't want that extra little bump on the outside. Yeah, it's $700 for all digital. There's nothing that made me scream must upgrade 100%. This isn't the upgrade system though. We got to remember that this is for the people that really want this type of thing. And also, I think a huge sell is, hey, if you're a huge GTA fan, if you're a huge video game history fan, if GTA is the thing that gets you off your seat and like excited about video games more than anything else, I was listening to the Fantasy Footballers the other day and listening to them talk about Red Dead Redemption 2. They don't give a shit about any story game ever, but they love Red Dead Redemption 2. They all bought systems for Red Dead 2 because they love Red Dead 1 and GTA 5 so much. That's what it could be. Hey, I got the money. I got the disposable income. What's the best place for me to play GTA 5 or 6? That's part of it. But I do think that it really is for the nerds. It is for the Connors of the world that before this, hey, I would buy one anyway. So like, no matter what, I'm getting the nicest and the newest thing. God damn, Zach, it just looks so good. But yeah, that's sort of where we're at with this whole thing. Is what is happening in the industry? It's getting more expensive. $500 is now looking a little nice. I thought that they wouldn't go above $600 for this thing. $700 though is them saying, hey, this shit takes a lot of money to create, but it is a lot cheaper than your fucking PC that can go and pull these graphics off. Sure, PC, you got everything. You got all the games you could ever want to play ever. Right? But we have the exclusive lineup that you guys want. We have the third party, and we're going to get you in here with these unbelievable graphics. The other thing that I thought a lot about was I just want my games to boot up and run. And with PCs, every now and then there's issues, and I don't like that. I just like a simple fucking console that works and runs. And yeah, PlayStation does that. And if I'm able to pull those graphics, Alan Wake 2, like I said, they should have shown more Alan Wake 2 in the background. Because Alan Wake 2 is literally that game when it comes to graphical fidelity. But yeah, I'm interested. I'm interested. I'm excited. I assume I'm gonna get a text from Connor seeing if pre-orders are up. It's 800 for euros. Yeah, it's a lot of money. It's no joke. But like Connor said from the start of this, and I can admit this is one of those moments I was wrong. I thought that they were gonna try to get it a little bit cheaper, just so the price point wouldn't be too in your face. But I think though 700 for something that can rival what a PC can do to play it on your phone. No, not on your phone, on your couch and hang out and have a good time. I don't know. And I do think that this might bring down the price of the PlayStation, hopefully a tad. Maybe we get to that 400 number for the PS5 after this thing comes out. But I'm just interested. Let me read some comments. Treb, honestly, I've been a PC and a PC, PS5, Switch, Xbox guy for a long time. If consoles are going up to 700 piece looking forward, I might convert to exclusively PC. That's a fine take. Big Ben Sauce, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in. Let me know your take on all this news. Why didn't they show Concord performance mode? That's pretty funny. It could have been a patch update. It could not have been. I know, Lee, you're just joking. I know it would look beautiful on my OLED TV. Maybe I can win one of my office Christmas party. That's just facts. That might be the way to get in on some of these systems, because this is very expensive. Another thing I want to bring up is like, I'm not a console gamer, so I don't have a take. Nice. Is the fact that like, it's a conversation we had last night about Concord and the value proposition on Concord being $40. If I wasn't in this industry having to play games all the time, my PS5 for me does what I needed to do. I'm one of the weirdos that plays on fidelity mode. I'm okay with doing 30 in fidelity because I want the graphics. I want these games to look awesome, especially these fucking huge budget games that they're pumping in the money to make that 30 frames look as good as possible. I choose the 30 frames. So, but I think it's fine. I would take that concession to not spend another $700. And you got to think, you're going to sell your PS5 if you are upgrading. You sell your PS5, let's just say you get $350 for it on open market, maybe $400. So it's a $300 upgrade probably. I think that's a little bit simpler. How does Xbox respond? They don't. That's another great question. They have their 1 terabyte or 2 terabyte model coming out later this year. I don't think that they're too gun-ho on trying to compete with this. They're looking for, can we get a handheld out of some sort that can run Windows natively and let you play Xbox games on the go without Wi-Fi connection? Because that's all that matters. If you need Wi-Fi connection, it won't work. And then secondly, they're suiting up, in my opinion, for a 2026, 2027 console release. They're trying to get out before PlayStation does. They have to get out before PlayStation does. Xbox did kill it with the adaptable nunchuck. Is this the announcement or is it coming soon? The announcement already happened, Chemical Witness. It is PS5 Pro, no disk drive, $700. The biggest news for me is they're trying to make it so you don't have to choose between graphics mode and performance mode. Hey, you get 60 frames, 4K, rock and roll. What do you guys use to hang your games on the walls and your TikToks? They're on Etsy. They're record holders. If you look up like record wall holder Etsy, it'll probably pop up. Yeah, and things are getting expensive, y'all. Things are getting really expensive. It seems to be $950 Canadian in my area. Another big issue is how games natively lock the frames to 30 anyway. PSSR is not guaranteed patch for anyone non-first party. That's a good point. I'm somebody, though, that when I look at my PlayStation 5, I think first party. And then I also think of the studios that would really try to push for greatness. I think of Remedy is my prime example, where I'm like, I think Alan Wake 3, they would try to go and push it to be 60 with graphical. Because those games are a showpiece type game. GT is another one, but that's first party that I'm like, that's a showpiece. They showed off their showpiece games, and that's the interesting aspect to all this is, what are you actually going to get out of it? I will say PlayStation seems a lot more like, we need to have a performance mode. We need to have the chance to run these things at 60, or else we're not putting it out. There's no 30, that's all, where Xbox, it does seem to some extent allows their teams to go and say, it's okay to run it at 60. It's okay. You guys can see my what I watch, Trivia Tower, PS5 reveals, and fantasy football content, and a lot of kind of funny. It's interesting though. This whole announcement is extremely interesting. No excuse to not invest in PC right now. As a I'm the person that's like, I will not invest in a PC. So and there's so many gamers out here that just won't do it. SQSH is here. What's happening? Thank you so much for dropping the follow. Welcome in. There's people that just won't do it. I'm one of those people that doesn't really want to do it. I like the whole thing was like we bought a Series X for the company for myriad of reasons, but the biggest one, I was like, I want to play my Game Pass games on the couch because I think that there's a lot of value in reviewing games that way compared to Connor that will review his Game Pass games on a PC and a really souped up PC. But I didn't want to go in and dump a ton of money into a PC that I'm not gonna enjoy as much as just sitting on the couch. And one of those is $500 and the other one is $3,500. So like going and saying, let's just do a PC, that's all that matters. It's like there's gamers that won't do it. I sometimes buy games on my console knowing it won't look as good as my PC, but I just don't really want feel with tinkering with the settings. Trebs, that's exactly where I'm at when it comes to my video game experience. I don't want to deal with shit. I don't want to deal with moving things around or trying to make it perfect when it's not going to be perfect. I still agree. I still prefer couch gaming, but I've only recently got a PC last year. JPug, stick with me. Stick with me. I know that my mouse is on the screen. No disk drive is definitely the craziest part, though. You're right. I do think it's quite crazy. I think, though, it cuts the cost. It would be $750 if there was a disk drive. And I do think that you really need to have a good setup to get the full experience. That's so true. We don't have a supply issue and it gets massively scalped. I think that there will be a supply issue because they're not going to make a ton of these is the biggest issue. Will this come with a GTA 6 or how will this affect GTA 6? Honestly, I discussed it a little bit earlier. GTA 6 is like, in my opinion, the biggest reason people will upgrade from their... So we're going to have this first wave. We're going to have all the people like Connor. Connor is the prime market, in my opinion, for something like this. Hey, you sell your PS5 or you just buy this outright. I think that's... if pre-orders are live right now, Connor has a permission to go and pre-order one for the company. And in that case, it would be his, and then Laura would take over his PS5. But Connor is the nerd. Connor is somebody that like he already said this morning. He's like, are we doing company stuff with this, or should we wait, or they might send us one? What are we gonna do with this? And I was like, I don't know if we get sent this or anything, but like we need one, so pre-order it if we have to. But Connor would buy one if he didn't have to, and Connor wants something like no matter what. It's the next gen tech of PlayStation. You get it. You're the fan. You get it. Those people are already sold. The question is, how do you get someone not even like me, who I love my PlayStation? I don't have a huge reason to upgrade. Even in the industry, even doing this thing for basically a living, I don't have a fucking reason to really upgrade because I do think that the PS5 is immaculate. With that being said, PS5 Pro, it's like a 50-50. GTA 6 next year, it's almost going to be like, do I really want to play GTA 6? Arguably the biggest release. Well, definitely the biggest release since this channel's begun. On just the PS5? No, I want to play it on the Pro. And that's when I would look and be like, all right, I'm getting a Pro. Like, just that would sell me. That would tick me up to go up. This has to go for like 100 more. Yeah, you look at the digital versus the non-digital for the PS5 Pro, and it was $100 more. What's the price tag for the PS6? Same as the PS5 Pro? I think so. I think that it's $700. 700 is probably that number. Yeah, 700 is that number. Things get more expensive to go and like. By the way, Mark Cerny, I understand that he's like not the most entertaining person to like listen to talk. He's very TED Talkish, but man, oh man, that dude just there's certain people in life that you're like, you just sound smart, and he's really smart. So I don't know. I just keep on bringing this back and keep on rotating it through because it's interesting, y'all. I can't believe this. I've been wanting to play F7 Rebirth at 64K. Same. Holy shit. Can you imagine? Connor, like, I want to go and throw this out there. Connor played in performance mode, which a lot of people, 3/4 of gamers play in performance mode. I'm not dunking on Connor here. And they, in my opinion, that game kind of looks not great when it's in performance mode. Can you imagine not choosing? Oh my god, dude. That's the other thing for me. The remake. Not Resident Evil. Final Fantasy Remake Part 3 comes out. I'm playing that on a Pro. I'm not playing that on my PS5. I'm not going to choose between graphics and performance for the sequel to my favorite game ever and one of my top 5 favorite games ever. So that's where I'm with that. How will this affect the next generation of PS6 or whatever out with Xbox? I need the price to stay affordable. We are where we are now is what I'll say. We're no longer, this in my opinion sort of blows out the doors of a $500 price tag. And once you get out of that $500 range, $400 range, $300 range, like, it's going to get fucking expensive. Things are going to get pricey, but the whole upgrade model is we're trying to go and build a box that can fit in an entertainment unit that is going to be decently small, that can run every game, first party, third party, natively. How can we do this and put it in this sizing and have it compete with the PC for the cheapest amount? That's where we're at. So there's not a PC that can go and run everything amazingly right now, in my opinion, for less than like $1,500, right? About $1,500. And sure, with a PC, you get the ability to run OBS and talk to an amazing chat like I am right now. But also you get just like the ability to work and web and it's super concise. But if you're just buying it for gaming, this thing isn't getting me home anymore in a lot of games. My PC is around, I have like a 2016 here. It's cost me like $1,200 when I bought it. It's not getting me home. I would say 1,200, but you're mostly correct. Yeah, that's fair. Hello, you're on stream.
Hello, I would like to give my take.
Yeah, get in here. You're on the mic.
All right. I mean, like, I assume you probably already said a lot of what I'm about to say, but like, $700 is insane. Is crazy talk with how bad inflation is, how bad like everything is going on. Like, people don't have $700 to just throw around. This is like, it was already going to be a very boutique item, very small audience for those who want the best possible experience on PS5, just like the PS4 Pro before it. But like, the PS4 Pro is like way more accessible when it came to price point than this is. $700. We haven't had a $700 console ever.
Yep.
I don't think.
This is the
ever.
first.
Like, the PS3 was $600 and it was a laughing stock of the industry because of that. Like, I think $500 and maybe $600 is like the cap for consoles. I think this thing is going to bomb hard out the gates, but I think that there's still like a hardcore audience of people that want it. And if there is a few people who go into the store and are thinking about buying a PS5 and they have the option between the $400, $500, $700 option, and they're presented with the choice of like, hey, this one is going to be the best possible option for $200 if you want like the best possible experience, there are going to be people who are willing to make that $200 jump.
Totally agree.
I do think those people exist, but I think the number of those people is very small, especially in the comparison to the number of people who would have made that jump for $100. I think that number of people is way higher than that of the $200 jump. So I'm going to buy this. I was going to buy it no matter what. I bought the PS4 Pro in the same fashion, just like knowing that I'm not having the best possible experience on PS5 is something that's enticing to me. And as somebody who's like an enthusiast when it comes to these kind of things, like, I was going to buy it, but now I am upset that I'm buying it. I'm like, geez,
yep.
$700? Are you kidding me? Like, I think everybody's leaving this not happy. And I would assume that the headlines are in the comment sections are going to be just kind of bagging on this thing until release. I think it's a bad look for Sony when it comes to optics, but I think in the long run, it doesn't really hurt them because the PS5 is still the PS5. It's still a very accessible and affordable console, all things considered. But this is disappointing.
I think 700 sort of was the highest it could be, and understanding
Is there a disk drive?
No, it doesn't look like there is.
There's no ability to attach one.
There might be. I would assume that there is an ability to attach one.
So if there is an ability to attach one, which I assume that there is, it's $750, $800.
Yeah, to get a disk drive on
Which is
it.
crazy. It's just
What
crazy.
I understand.
That's insane. But you have to still compare it. Like
Real quick,
J
JPug says $80 eternal disk drive. I think I don't have it confirmed, but that's what JPug's saying in our chat.
Yeah, that's just crazy talk. I'm actually like all digital on PS5 for the most part. I know I'm like a big physical proponent, but like for the convenience sake and like just kind of needing to review stuff and just have stuff accessible, like like I want to play the game when it comes out, so I don't want to like go to like a midnight release, so I end up doing digital like quite often, unfortunately.
Yeah,
it's half laziness, honestly. I just don't want to go to the store at this point. But for PS5 games for whatever reason, but so I'm comfortable with it being digital. Most of my games on PS5 are digital anyways. And I'm going to keep my PS5 because Laura needs it and is asking me constantly to use the PS5. She wants to play the new Persona 3 expansion. So
yeah, I understand that. Somebody's saying 2 terabytes. So
yes. Yep.
that's nice. You can actually. I know it sounds dumb. Somebody made this joke. You can actually run Call of Duty and GTA on the same system.
Yeah.
That's gonna be nice.
It's a nice thing. It's a nice to have. It's entirely unnecessary. I am not going to go out of my way to recommend this to fucking anybody.
Yeah.
I think that if you want it, if you're interested in it, it's an option, and people need to understand that. Like, this is an option. It's not the new PlayStation console. It's just another tier of the PlayStation. Games are going to run great on PS5. They've run great the entire generation for the most part, with an option between fidelity and performance mode. And I'm perfectly comfortable making that choice between those two and going with performance mode. But if you're somebody who doesn't want to make that choice and maybe get higher frame rates and have games look better, like this is an option for you. But I think that $200 price point puts that option outside the realm of it being an option for a lot of people.
Oh, real quick. Apparently, they're selling the stand for it separately. So it might be even more than $700. That's wild. That's wild. Thank you so much, SQSH.
I think a replacement stand for the PS5 regular, like the Slim, is like $30, $20 or something. It's not like nothing, but it's cheap.
Next thing you know, real life battle passes will come. Ozzy says, just to give you where I'm at, I know you probably heard me out. You've been in and out of the chat. This is, I think it makes sense. I also think that a big part of this is if I were to get a PS5 Pro, I would sell my PS5, meaning it's only a $300 upgrade, right?
Yeah, I think most people would do that. That's what I did with the PS4.
Yeah, and so with that in mind, it's not like too egregious. It is legitimately like the iPhone 15 to iPhone 16 sort of deal. You trade yours in, you go up for a couple $100, boom, you get the new thing. 700 though to hop in. You're right. I do think that some consumers will go and be like, I'll just buy the thing for a couple extra 100 to get it to be nice. The thing that did, no joke, turn me up during the presentation at the end was them showing FF7 Rebirth and like
just the fucking end of the game too.
Yeah, it's wild.
What are we doing here?
I mean, I will say that the part of like Zach's on the cover of the game.
Yeah.
So like, it's all right.
You can show anything else in that.
By the way, confirmed PS5 Pro in Canada is over 1,000. Schmiegleys, can you let me know what the PS5 cost initially?
Living in a real country.
Damn, got him.
I'm kidding.
Is there $200 worth of upgrades to the PS5 Pro? I think to some people there are.
I mean, it's really depends on the eyes of the beholder or whatever. Like, if getting your games at the highest possible fidelity and performance on PS5 is $200 is worth $200 to you, then it's worth it.
My thing goes to there's PC people that get a new graphics card every couple of years and get that upgrade to get that extra frames, to get those extra pieces of fidelity, and it's a lot more expensive than $200. So this is for, in my opinion, the niche console gamer that wants a upgraded experience. And honestly, as somebody that is planted on my couch and doesn't want to play games on my PC, that like I've said this, if I was not in the industry, I would not buy this. Period. Bar none. This would not be a product for me, just because I love my PS5. I think the PS5 is great. And it's really funny. Connor's performance mode.
This is a product for me, though. I bought the PS4.
I literally
I want to play my games at the best fidelity.
I on stream literally was like, this is a Connor product. This is a product for the people
I'm a
like
huge
you.
PlayStation fan. I'm a huge video game fan. I want to play it at the best possible fidelity. I cannot sit there and be like, it's I'm playing whatever the Ghost 2 and it could look better, it could run better, and it's just like, that's worth it.
Real quick, chat. Before I let you go, Connor, I just need to say this to chat because I want an answer before leaving stream. I'm sorry to cut you off. Can someone let me know if pre-orders are happening today? Thank you so much. All right, Connor, what were you saying?
That was my plan. I finished up my plan.
Okay. Well, I'm feeling good with this thing. We'll definitely break this down on the podcast. As of right now, the plan, September 26th is pre-orders, which I can guarantee you, dollars to donuts, we're getting a state of play before then. What?
Maybe, and they'll sell out immediately.
Yes, they will sell out immediately. This is for sure.
People are going to bitch and moan about this hard for the next few weeks, and then this will go live and they'll sell it immediately. I promise you.
I'm curious to see what some of our TikTok contemporaries say about it. Because the answer, I believe, will be hopefully people just distribute the knowledge and don't just dunk on Sony.
I think a lot of people are going to dunk on that.
I think a lot of people are going to dunk on it.
I think that the takes are going to be not very nuanced and not understanding of what this is. They're going to be like, it's the next PlayStation console. It's like, no, it's not. It's a tier of the current PlayStation console. Like, the PS4 Pro sold like 1 in 10 PS4s, maybe and that's generous. Or the Pros out in the wild right now. Like, this thing is probably going to sell like 4 or 5 million units, and that's worth it to them. You know what I mean? Like lifetime.
Yeah. Which
is nothing. It is a nice boost to their bottom line rather than not getting that double dip on a huge group of people who are going to buy 2 PS5s now, one at launch and then now this one.
And the nice part with you is we talked about this. You want 2 PS5s in your home. You have a reason to have 2 PS5s in your home because
that's very specific.
I understand. So that way they're not even making an extra 300 off you. They're making 700 bones off of the Connor and Laura household. So that's fun. But yeah, I mean this is pretty wild stuff. We will definitely break this down, full thoughts on the podcast, I assume on Sunday, going and post it on Monday. You having a good day?
I'm rocking and rolling.
There we go. Well, I love you. I will talk to you soon, and I'm gonna wrap it up with chat here in just a minute or two.
Love you. Bye.
Right, bye. Oh man, yeah. This is fucking insane. This is one of those days. This is why we do it, chat. This is why we play the game. Yeah, this is odd. There's a lot. Nobody's buying a $500 used PS5. I think that they would for $400. So I would take $300 upgrade. I think you could go into a GameStop and be like, "Here's my PS5. Give me a PS5 Pro, $300." They need to show direct examples of disappointing 30 FPS capped games. The real at the end was fun, but imagine if they played particular attention to Bloodborne and Yakuza 6. Yeah, so for me, the one was Rebirth, because Rebirth does have a performance versus graphical issue. It does. Like, straight up, it does. And so seeing that got me out of my seat. But I understand. I also think if you wanna sell some motherfucking copies to the nerds, I don't know if you guys heard about this game, Elden Ring. A lot of people really liked that game this year. One of the biggest gaming moments this year was the DLC coming out. Maybe you do it. Psh, break glass, case of emergency, Bloodborne, 60 frames, and literally have people melting. Yeah, I've said it multiple times since reviewing that game and playing that game earlier this year. I would give Bloodborne a 9 out of 10. I think it's an amazing game. I think it has the sauce. I think that has clear things holding it back. One, it doesn't run well. Like, that is a knock against that game. I would be closer to a 9.5 if it ran well. So could be awesome. We will be so this weekend for Connor and I. This isn't 1,000% confirmed, but we're pretty sure this is what we're doing this weekend. is going to be a state of play predictions episode. The rumor mill's going Jeff Grubb. I assume sometime this week Jeff Grubb will talk more about what that state of play is going to look like. I assume that we will be getting some other details with the state of play. State of play on the 19th. That's a Thursday, right? State of plays they normally try to get off Thursdays. And normally they do Wednesdays. But 26th, that makes sense. Okay, I see what you're saying, Oz. With a week before. All right. Yeah, that's going to do it, everyone. This has been an awesome little morning and hang out and talk about some games and do the damn thing. We'll toss a raid to Kind of Funny Proper and see what they're talking about, because that's what I'm going to watch after this is, hey, what's their opinions and thought process on this. But yeah, this has been a cool one. This has been an exciting one. So PS5 Pro, it exists. It's real. And thank you so much for being here. Have a good morning.